YouTube. This is a 2023 Freightliner M2 Penske truck. It's a 26 foot. It's the largest truck that Penske offers for personal rentals. It is rated at 26,000 pounds. There is a Cummins engine underneath this hood. 2023 is the manufacture date on this Freightliner. Again, this is a 26 foot truck with a Cummins engine. This is a vehicle equipped with DEF. It's in the Penske yellow paint scheme. Very nice truck that they offer. I've driven the 2024-2025 when I moved back in January. It was a little bit better than this 23, and I'll explain why later. This 26 foot truck comes equipped with a liftgate and optional ramp above the liftgate. Take a look inside the box. You can see that it has wood tracks and metal tracks for tie downs. You can use the clipping tie downs, or you can use your own other nylon tie downs. It's about 13 feet 1 inches is the box height. Not a bad truck overall. Like I said, I've driven a Freightliner from Penske back in January. I think these are manual adjust mirrors. Yes, they are. They are manual adjust mirrors. So these are not power mirrors. It does have LED lights on the front. I think the turn signals are halogens, but the headlights are a LED, as well as the clearance and marker lights up top. This one, I believe, comes equipped with a camera, front facing, so that if Penske wants to review footage, they can. I don't think the 2025 or 24 that I drove had a camera on it, but this one does. I think this is a multi-use truck. I believe it also serves as a commercial truck, because there is, like the 24 that I drove, it has the ELD clips and the sticker for ELD, so I believe they do rent this out to commercial vehicles as well, or commercial customers. This is an 80-gallon diesel tank, all metal. Well, it's a single tank, and here's your DEF. I don't think it says the capacity on here, but it's not much. Battery box. This is an air brake unit as well. You can see the rear air brake chambers on there, as well as in the front. There's also a block heater. I used one of these in the winter. It was about 30 degrees. I think the lowest it got was 25 at night, and I didn't need the block heater. The engine fired right up. These new Cummins engines are very good at cold starting. I've only ever had a Cummins hesitate to start when it was below freezing, but anything above like -10, it'll start right up. Take a look at the Cummins engine over here. I just drove this not too long ago. I still am driving it around. I just stopped to go pick up some stuff at the Lowe's. So here's the Cummins engine. I believe it's a straight 6. I don't know the exact displacement. This might be a 6-liter, but it is a Cummins engine. I'm almost certain it's a 6-cylinder. Again, this is an air brake unit, so you can see the fuel filter, power steering. Pretty much a run-of-the-mill Freightliner M2. Nothing, no frills really. There's the coolant reservoir, big fan, steering. Again, brake chambers. It's a very clean truck for a few years old. It's only got, I think I just rolled the odometer while I was driving to 58,000 miles. It's a very nice truck. It is very similar to the 24-25. The only real difference that I can see is the dash, is the old style dash. It's not the new style that Freightliner has. The new style is a better dash, the old one is not so great. But nonetheless, it's okay. I do prefer the newer dash. dash over the old style that Freightliner uses in their M2s, and I believe their Cascadias. This one isn't too bad. It's got a little bit of scuffing up there on the side, but this is, for a few-year-old truck, it's in pretty decent shape. Coming into the cab, this is an air ride seat, so just the driver's seat. The middle and passenger are just a standard bench, but the driver's seat is air ride. There's the parking brake knob. This is the suspension dump for the liftgate. It makes it easier on the liftgate so it doesn't have to go up as high. Cargo box light, pre-trip light check, ATC, regen. It does have a lane departure, which I don't think the one that I drove previously had a lane departure on it. I'm not sure what this does. Power locks, heated mirrors, window controls, liftgate switch, exhaust brake, shifter, has park, reverse, neutral, drive, 3, 2, and low. There's the cruise control, and this is the accelerate, decelerate. This is just kind of set and coast. I don't really know what the difference is. This actually might be for the dash. I think this is actually to increase the backlight on the dash. Windshield wiper controls, high beam flash, high beam hold, standard left, right, nothing too special about that. Hazards. And on the dash we have oil pressure, coolant temperature, fuel and depth gauges. So the fuel gauge is just an analog needle, and then the depth is just like a lights, so E, and then it goes up. It's just lights, it's not an actual gauge. Then you have your primary and secondary air tanks. So you have, 125 cutoff, all that. Your air pressure gauges, primary and secondary, speed, tachometer, and then just kind of a multi info center thing right here, LCD screen. You can see it has 58,032.9 miles. I rolled it halfway through when I was driving to that, so it just hit 58,000. So the other one that I had, I believe, was 80 something. When I got it and returned, it was like 84,000 or 85,000. This one has less mileage, even though it's an older unit. So I guess they just use these for local. I don't think they use these for one-ways. But it does have a Bluetooth AM FM radio. I think you can put your USB drive or phone in here and play it direct instead of Bluetooth pair. You can also answer calls on here. I've used this before. It's actually very nice. It's a very nice head unit that they put in here for radio and Bluetooth. This, I don't know what this is. Wabco. This is for something. I don't know exactly what for, but this was not in the other truck. You have two 12-volt sockets. Just looking around the cab. Again, there's power windows. I did not know. I thought that this was broken because it was missing a hand crank, but apparently it is power and it's right here. I didn't notice that when I first got it. The newer ones have it on the door like a car, but this is here. And I think there's actually a power window button right there, but not on the driver's side. That's a RAM mount. I think the other one had that too, that I had before. I don't have a RAM mount, so it's not really much of a use to me, but if you did have one. Oh, and then the airbag gauge. So this is for the suspension. So when you dump it, you can see how much you lose, and then when you resupply, you can see how much you're at while running, or while driving and idling. You can see what your suspension airbag pressure is. So that's neat. Looking around, I mean, there's not really much to it. I mean, you got standard climate controls as well, heating and air conditioning. This unit does have air conditioning. I was running it, and it does run very well. Fire extinguisher. There's some registration, legal documents in there. Your 3 triangles, fire extinguisher. Pretty much everything that DOT requires to be present in commercial vehicles. And then there's that hours of service sticker I was talking about. And then up on the visor, there's the DVIR clip right here. What's interesting is that this sticker shows the new style gauges and doesn't show the old style. It does show the new style for whatever reason. I don't know, for the regen and def, which I find weird. And then there it is again, that 2023 manufacture date on it. But other than that, it's no frills. I mean, you have air horn, city horn. This city horn sounds awful. I'm not even going to sound it. But the air horn sounds much better than the city horn. The city horn sucks. Your key is actually down here. I think the newer ones also have the key cylinder right here. But other than that, it's a very, very clean, nice riding truck. I was just driving it around before, and it handles very well. I think the newer one handles a little bit better, but the Cummins engine has great acceleration. The exhaust brake is strong. Usually, if it's a steep hill, I'd bump it down to third, and boy, it works wonders. The exhaust brake, that is a very strong exhaust brake. Cummins does make a very good engine with exhaust brakes. It works very well. I'm unloaded, and this thing was holding very well. When I was loaded back in January, I was using the exhaust brake, and it was very well. The newer ones also have the exhaust brake lever here instead of this button down here. So all I had to do was flip it down, or flip it up to engage the exhaust brake, and then down to disengage it. But that's really the only key difference. The dash, of course, is different. The newer style dash is a little bit nicer than this. I prefer it over this one, but this one's okay, all things considered. But again, very nice truck. I don't have any major complaints other than for your air brake test. I was trying to do it. This truck does for whatever reason, when you disengage the parking brake, even with it in the park gear, the horn will start going off and it will start flashing on the dash that it's not in park, or the parking brake's not engaged. And you can still do the test, but that horn is so awful, and it is pretty annoying when you're trying to do an air brake test. And that horn is going off even though you know that the brake is disengaged. You're doing an air brake test. Not like the Internationals or the newer Freightliner M2s. They don't do that, but this one apparently does. I guess it's a safety feature, but they don't put that on the truck anymore because I guess it was just too annoying. The cruise control, I was trying to get it to work. I had this switch on and I was trying to get it to set, and for some reason it wouldn't set, but it came on like it was ready to set, and then I tried pushing down to set, unless it's up, but I would assume it's down. I'm trying to think if there's any other complaints I have. Other than that, I don't really think there's many complaints. All the buttons are pretty straightforward. The light test was alright. I don't have any complaints about that. But the truck overall, it's a clean truck. Penske does a very good job of keeping the trucks in tip-top shape. The frame looks great. The box looks great. The truck overall just runs very well. I would say for someone who doesn't drive commercial vehicles regularly, it is fairly easy to drive. It's not that hard, but since I have experience in driving commercial vehicles, it's not hard at all for me to drive this. The air ride seat feels great. No complaints there. I love the air ride seat. Not too bouncy, but also not too stiff. Makes for a very nice ride. Pedals are not bad either. This was a little weird, funky getting used to. I don't think the new style has it like this, where the bottom's on the floor and then the top is just hanging out. It's not really attached to the floor. That took a second to get used to, but the brake pedal was fine. Handles great. I can see everything. I love that. I can see down. I can see down in front of the hood, and I can see straight out. For someone who hasn't driven commercial vehicles ever and was looking to rent one of these, I would definitely recommend it. I would definitely familiarize yourself with all the buttons and controls first before hopping into this bad boy, just to get yourself familiar for your drive, so you're not, scrambling to figure out what button does which while you're driving, and just getting used to the fact that you're going to be driving a big commercial vehicle. Even though you don't need a CDL for this truck, it's under 26,000 pounds. With that being said, I don't think there's anything else to cover. I think it's time to go for a little drive. I'm going to grab some lunch, and then we're going to go for a little ride. Alright, I just got some lunch. My stomach is full, and I am ready to go back out on the road. the windows cracked so we can get, after that sounds, get the windows cracked so we can hear that nice engine and air brake noises. So we're ready to go. I'm going to turn the lane alert off, and then we're going to crank. Alright, looks like we are good to go. Let's put the sunglasses on. Okay. Up a little bit. One thing I will say about the gear shift is it's a little loose, but the newer one, the newer Freightliner that I was in January, is a lot stiffer, but this one's a lot more loose. This one definitely is a lot more loose. You can saw where I was trying to get into drive. I could have left it in third, but I want to drive. Whereas the newer one was a lot stiffer. And it was harder to shift between gears. And this one's a lot more loose, so it's a little different. It's not that sweet spot where it's not too loose and it's not too tight. Excuse me. But the other one was very tight. I don't know if it was just because it was so new or... But I will say that the Cummins has an exceptional pickup. I mean, this thing moves. That was about, I want to say, quarter throttle, unladen, no cargo, and all in all, that's a pretty good pickup. That wasn't even my foot to the floor or anything. That was just quarter throttle, and still, this thing makes really good power. I'm not sure what the rating is. I'm assuming it's between 230 and 260. I believe that's telling me I'm a little close to this guy. So I guess it does have a spacing sensor between the vehicle and the vehicle in front of you. I'm assuming that's what that beeping was. Unless that was lane departure, which I don't think I'm out of my lane. This intersection, if you're familiar with the Pocono Mountain area, is very confusing. It's tight. There's like 3 different state routes that intersect here, and it's a very confusing mess of an intersection. When I was getting my Class A, I had to make a right turn here with a tractor trailer, and that was not fun. You had to definitely hug the left side of the solid line a lot more than the right curb, or else you jump it. Every time I'd been through here, I think I only jumped it once, and I think I came through about 5 times. I will say I really like the seating position, or just the cab layout of the Freightliner M2 and the Cascadia cabs. They have a very nice, you can just see everything. It's very spacious. It's not all cramped together. The gauges are easy to read. Even the old style I'll give it, they're very easy to read. You can see everything at the sides. The mirrors are great. Definitely feels comfortable too. The steering wheel is not bad to hold. It's kind of like the Internationals, where I can just put my hands here and rest them instead of having a grip here or up here or even here like this. I could just kind of put my hands like that and just steer on like highway driving. Site is also very quick. You get a few cars through and then it's over. I mean, you can just see all the traffic that this intersection gets. And this is a Saturday that I'm out. Even during the week, it's still pretty busy. But weekends, it's usually a lot busier. I'm thinking this Wabco is for the lane departure, or spacing between vehicles. The air brakes are also not too sensitive either. They stop very well. They're not overly sensitive, so if you apply a little bit of pressure, it won't hold as much. I guess it also has to do with wear in. Getting my gearing ready, my exhaust brake, because this is a 7% grade for the next 2 miles. This Cummins is definitely a little bit different from the ones that are found in international school buses, or even the international box trucks. You can hear it engage, the turbocharger spinning up, and the back pressure, but you won't hear the fan engage after 5 seconds. The other Cummins engines on the international box trucks and school buses that I know of, the exhaust brake on the Cummins will engage, and then it'll kind of go in like a second stage where the engine fan kicks on and it kind of gives it a little bit more power. But this one, it just, first stage, it was only like one stage of the exhaust brake, and you don't get an exhaust fan or a engine fan after 5 seconds, which is fine. It's not bad. I'm actually gonna take these sunglasses off. I can't really see too good. Okay, so that Wabco thing that I showed you earlier, that actually is a spacing, lane spacing, so that's what that's for. The newer ones don't have that, but this one I guess does. You can just see the exhaust brake is holding pretty good. It is creeping up a little bit, but I'm not snubbing. I'm just letting it kind of go, but it's still holding fairly well. And I am in overdrive. If I'm in third, it might be a little bit better. truck is about 13.1, that bridge is 13.7, so we should be good going under it. So far, I will say, the truck does handle very well. The only thing I am noticing is that the steering does feel a little twitchy. That's the only thing I am noticing. The other Freightliner doesn't really do it as much, but this one, I don't know if it's just because of the design, but it does feel a little twitchy. But other than that, it handles exceptionally well. The engine has great pickup, holds its speed very well. Again, the exhaust brake is very good. Do occasionally have to snub it, but other than that, it performs very well, especially when empty. It does hold, especially when you do shift down into third, or when you can, I should say. When you can shift down into third, it does really give that exhaust brake the nice boost that it needs. Brakes are nice and smooth as well. Well, I guess that concludes the rest of the ride. I'm pretty much going to go fuel up. Maybe go take it for a little bit more of a spin, fuel up, and then take it back to Home Depot. But that was pretty much the riding video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Future videos will be coming soon of some stuff like this. My overall opinion of this Freightliner is it's not bad. I prefer the newer ones, though, over this older dash cluster and steering wheel setup and all that. But it's not bad. I would still drive it again. Definitely, if they gave me this again, I wouldn't be upset. The Freightliner isn't bad. For anyone who's looking to rent a nice vehicle, nice moving truck, the Freightliner, if they give you a Freightliner with liftgate, it's the way to go. Definitely, it's a plus now that Penske is giving people trucks with liftgates as opposed to just having the flat dock rear. So you have that dock and liftgate rear that you can use for easier loading, something that U-Haul doesn't offer. So I think that's definitely a plus. So you get more bang for your buck having the liftgate on the back to save your back going in and out of the truck. So you just put it up and down. And this truck, it's fairly easy to drive. I think anyone with a Class C who hasn't stepped into one of these ever before shouldn't have too much of an issue driving. You just need to remember that you are 26 feet long. But it does have great pickup, great pickup, and all things aside, it's a very well-built, well-handling truck, and the engine more than powerful enough to haul what you got, whether it be freight or, household moving items. This thing will get the job done. It's comfortable, for long hauls and long moves, and it's fairly easy to drive. Someone who drives commercial vehicles, it's easy for me, but I would say that it's definitely, fairly easy for someone who's never been behind the wheel of a big box truck like this. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed watching and me showing you this nice Penske truck that I took out for the day, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good day.